Howdy, movie fans out there on the internet. This is Matt Jarbo back with another episode of Total Running Time. Two Book Theater's great movie review podcast thingamadoo. And this week we've been following in the Paranormal Activity line, so we're actually going to be talking about Paranormal Activity 2, which came out this year. I'm sorry, not this year. I haven't even assessed that it's 2011 yet. Came out last year. Came out a couple months ago. Came out in late October, actually October 22nd. So this is a sequel and a prequel to an extent to Paranormal Activity 1, which came out in 2009, and everyone really seemed to like it. It did well enough to warrant a sequel. I mean, made millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, you know, I just did the one on Monday talking about that, and now I'm doing the one on Paranormal Activity Dose. I keep expecting Paranormal Activity 2 to have like a tag to it. You know, it's like Paranormal Activity 2 ... Paranormal a little harder. That's not even a word. Like Paranormal Harder, right? Or Let the Raping Begin. I don't know. Like something different, right? Something crazy. I think would be the best way to describe it. So I'm okay with that. And so yeah, it's fun. Okay. I'm going to get into it because I know you guys probably don't have a lot of time and you're probably tired of me rambling. Okay, so let's talk about the film for a second. The film was not written and directed by Oren Peli, who did the first one. He produced it, and I think he came up with the story. He co-wrote the screenplay. And he's been off doing this Area 51 found footage documentary thing. So, you know, he didn't come on board to do this. And it was actually directed by Todd Williams. Williams is a newcomer director, as far as I can tell, and so he's taking the reins. And they shot this film, you know, still like not any bigger name actors. I know they used Sprague Graydon. She's been around. She was in like Jericho. She was in she was in Sons of Anarchy. She was in Weeds. She's been around for a while. She's been in a few things. I happen to actually very much like her. So they shot the movie. This time the budget was like $3 million. Okay, because, you know, figure, hey, the first one was $15,000, right? So we'll throw $3 million at this, and it'll be bigger and better. And it grossed about $170 million, worldwide so far. So that's pretty good. It comes on DVD here pretty soon, but it will. It's still $3 million. You know, that's a pretty damn big turnaround. So. You know, the movie has a bigger cast this time around, and it's actually, it's I'd say 95% prequel, 5% sequel, right? Or tie-in, whatever, but we'll get to that later on. So if you haven't seen the movie, see it, then come back, or skip to the end, skip to like the last few minutes. But we're going to get into it right now. So, here we go. In 2006, just keep in mind, the first one was shot in 2006, so this one's 2006 as well. A burglary occurs at the home of Christy and Dan Ray. Every single room is completely trashed except for their infant son Hunter's room. The only thing stolen is a necklace that Christy's sister Katie had given to her. Dan installs a number of security cameras throughout the house to watch over their son Hunter. The family starts to hear noises and sees items fall and move on their own. Martine, the family housekeeper and nanny, believes evil spirits are the cause and attempts to cleanse the house of evil spirits. Dan fires her after catching her burning sage. Katie and Christy talk about being tormented by a demon or unknown spirit when they were children. Dan's daughter, Ollie, begins investigating the mysterious happenings, and she discovers that on occasion, a human can make a deal with the demon for wealth or power by forfeiting the life of their firstborn son. She also realizes that until Hunter, there had not been a male child born in Christy and Katie's family since the time of their great-great-grandmother. The violence continues to escalate, and Christy is tormented further. The family's German Shepherd dog, Abby, is attacked and pulled violently off camera and apparently suffers a seizure. Dan and Allie take the dog to the vet, leaving Christy alone with Hunter. She goes to check on the baby and notices a light flicker off. When she turns the light back on, but is then dragged by an unseen force out of the room and halfway down the stairs before she is released. Christy runs back upstairs to Hunter's room, but is violently dragged back downstairs again. This time she's dragged into the basement, where she stays for several hours. Finally, the security camera footage shows the basement door opening and a possessed Christy walking through the living room. The following day, Ollie's at home with Christy, who won't get out of bed. Ollie looks at the inside of the door to the basement to find it covered with scratches in a single word, meos, which is Latin for mine. allegedly scratched into the door. After hearing noises, Ollie finds Christy ignoring Hunter, but aggressively demands that she not touch him. Ollie cries downstairs waiting for Danny to arrive home and bears witness to Christy's strange change of character. When she arrives, Ollie, who is now watched security tapes from the night before, begs him to view the footage of Christy's attack. Upon watching the evidence, he immediately calls Martine, who then prepares a cross that will pass the demon on to another blood relative, and that Christy will have no memory of being possessed. Dan tells Ollie that he's going to pass the demon on to Katie so that Christy and Hunter will be saved, although Ollie pleads with them, begging him to not because it's unfair to Katie. Dan sees no other way to save his wife and son. That night, Dan tries to use a cross on Christy, but she violently attacks him and all the lights in the house go out. They turn on night vision on the handheld camera and find that Christy has disappeared after snatching Hunter. Furniture all over the house begins toppling over, and the chandeliers in the dining area shake. Dan chases Christy into the basement, and after a few minutes of looking for her, she attacks him. He touches her with the cross, causing her to collapse on the floor, the camera facing the other way. As the ground rumbles, inhuman growls and roars are heard, until finally it stops suddenly. The next scene shows Dan putting Christy to bed and then burning the photo of a young Katie, which Mika, Katie's boyfriend, will later find in the attic of their house. 3 weeks later, on September 18th, Katie visits and explains how things have begun happening at her house. After Katie leaves, she is shown at her and Mika's house, where he had just purchased a video camera on October 9th. Right after Mika is murdered, Katie, possessed and bloodstained, breaks into their home and kills Dan by breaking his neck. She then climbs the stairs and confronts Christy in Hunter's room, violently hurling her against the wall and taking the baby. The final scene is Katie leaving the room, cradling Hunter with a satisfied look on her face. The epilogue text states that Ollie was on a school trip and returned home on October 12th to find her father and stepmother dead, and that Katie and Hunter's whereabouts remain unknown. Now, this just ties into going into Paranormal Activity 3, which is already in the works. Is going to come out October of this year. So let's hope that they're going to do a trilogy and not kind of extend it out, but they kind of explained a bit more of the mythos of the Paranormal Activity world. Now, the outline here is kind of basic. Whoever wrote this kind of went through it, but, I mean, they kind of hit most of the points. Like, the stuff they see in the house, it's slow moving. That's where it's like, really, watch... If there's a way to, if you haven't seen this movie yet and you want to see it, go back and watch Paranormal Activity 1. All right, go watch this one right until after Katie goes back to her house and Mika's at the camera. Then stop it. Then go and watch Paranormal Activity 1. Then come back and watch the last, little bit of Paranormal Activity 2. That'd be the way to do it. Katie, they didn't really mention this here, but Katie plays a pretty big part in Paranormal Activity 2. Mika's in it for 2 minutes or something like that, and you can see he's gained 25 pounds or something. He's just a lot fatter than he was back in 06. And then as soon as, this is great, when he comes on the screen, it just goes, this is 60 days before the death of Mika Sloat, and I'm just going hurry up, kill him, just do it now. I still can't stand the guy. Still can't do it. I just can't. I just want to see him I want to see him get his neck snapped. Seriously. That seems pretty cool though, because Katie comes in and she's wearing the same clothes as when she killed Mika and all that stuff from the first movie, and then she goes and she kills Dan, and then she goes and shoves Christy into the wall. But the weird thing is though that she shoves Christy into the wall and picks the baby up, right? And she picks the baby up, and the baby's crying, and then the baby starts to giggle. So they don't really show a satisfied look on her face. That's kind of retarded because she's walking away, right? And there's no mirror that shows it, It's pretty good. The daughter Allie is pretty good. She I think was the strongest character in the whole film. Because she's trying to put it all together. She's trying to figure it out. She's trying to see where things are going to go. And then she's the one really pushing for things to get fixed and things to get figured out. Of course. So I think she might play a protagonist in Paranormal Activity 3. And hey, this movie proves that you can have a low budget idea and you can send it off and you can get it big, and then you can come back with a sequel that effectively is stronger than the first. I would hope that in the third one they keep with the character development of this one, and they focus with the scares of the first one, and they really kind of do that instead of dragging it out, because there's parts where it goes on for a while and it doesn't need to be there. So yeah, that's Paranormal Activity Dose, and I recommend you guys see it on DVD when it comes out if you can't see it in theaters. I know it's already probably out of theaters, but it should be out in a few weeks. So, my name is Matt Jarbo. Be sure to check out more movie news, reviews, updates, commentary, and all the cool stuff over at Two Buck Theater. And keep in mind that this podcast was done in part by scriptsnotes.com, where you can get low-budget screenplays for a really great cost that are fun to shoot over the course of a weekend. That is www.scriptsnotes.com. And Monsters vs. Monsters, which is a new card game that is for kids about ages 5 and up. Great deal of fun to play. It's a whole bunch of classic monsters, like, new takes on classic monsters. It's like War meets Dice, or War with Dice. A lot of fun. And that's $10 a game, and that's seriously a good deal. It's going to be monstersvsmonsters.com, and we'll see you guys on Monday with a new movie to review here on Total Running Time. This is Matt Jarbo. I'll see you guys later. Bye.